Number 4. The Spectacular Spider-Man. Spider-Man has appeared in many anime series, but oddly enough, the Spectacular Spider-Man is considered by many fans to be the best. What makes this Spider-Man cartoon good is that it has the right amount of balance between Peter Parker's life as Peter Parker and the web-slinger Spider-Man. Peter not only has to protect the people of Manhattan from danger, but he also has to look over his Aunt May, work at the Daily Bugle, and stay in school to hang out with his friends. Even when he's at school, his friends seem to have a likable charm and development. Flash Thompson is a bully, but he starts to grow to be soft. J. Jonah Jameson whines a lot about Spider-Man, but he really cares about his son. Eddie Brock is Peter's friend, but he loses trust only to become Venom. Speaking of which, the villains are also amazing, with some great build-ups like the Green Goblin and the Lizard, or an amazing transformation like Electro and Vulture. They would even work for the mob bosses like Tombstone, and it's actually pretty clever. In fact, the relationship between Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker is believable. Despite having Mary Jane in the cartoon, and she is usually the one Peter goes out with, but she's actually a free agent, and all she wants is for both Gwen and Peter to be together happily. The show is so beloved, it got listed as one of the best anime series. People even want it back for a third season to continue the series. Please don't stink, please don't stink, please don't stink. With web-slinging adventure and likable characters, everything is spectacular thanks to our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Number 3. Sonic the Hedgehog, aka Sonic SatAM. I'm not kidding, there is already a Sonic cartoon that this cartoon is loosely based on. Wanna know what it is? Yeah, when the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog came in, that pretty much turned off people and it only exists to make memes in the future. While that show was airing, Sonic SatAM took a different direction. Instead of being a Roadrunner cartoon, it has a more dark and dramatic tone, and the villain, Dr. Robotnik, has already dominated the kingdom. But now it's a battle to restore the land. It was not only considered a much better improvement to the other cartoon, but it became one of the best anime series based on a video game. Some of the characters are likable with their own role and feature, like Bunny Rabbit, Princess Sally, and Sonic's Uncle Chuck. Even the villain, Robotnik, is more menacing than any other Sonic adaptation.
Take him. Perhaps his cries will flush out the hedgehog.
Also, the animation is really nice to look at, where the forest has vibrant green colors, while Robotropolis is this murky and unpleasant factory area. Almost like an environmental message on not messing with nature. In fact, the villains lost to a bunch of animals. You might consider them the Ewoks of the cartoon. Don't believe me? Look at this scene where a bunch of robots get attacked by creatures of the forest.
Fire!
It's too bad that it lasts for 2 seasons, because we were supposed to get a new villain to the show, and Tails officially becoming a freedom fighter. We want to see Sonic defeat Robotnik, we want to see him restore the kingdom, and we want him to save his family and friends. So if you haven't seen this cartoon, be sure to check it out as fast as you can.
He's the fastest thing alive!
Number 2. DuckTales 2017. I know by the time I'm recording this video, there's like 9 or 10 episodes airing, but let me explain. In the late 2010s, animated reboots were not being taken as seriously. We ended up getting some mediocrely bad ones like Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Powerpuff Girls, and the 2016 Ben 10. With DuckTales, it shows the writers and animators have done their homework about the original DuckTales series, both the cartoon and the comics. What makes DuckTales a great reboot is that it found a way to be both retro and modern. The retro aspect comes from adding references to the original, and they even hint out that there may be a Disney afternoon television universe coming our way.
Alright, boys! We'll get to Cape Suzette and back before anyone realizes we're gone!
But what makes this reboot also modern is that it gives out a lot of development and personality to the other characters than what they had with the original. Donald Duck is now an official member of the DuckTales team, His nephews have a memorable trait either being a scout, a middle child, and a laid-back dude, and Webby's trait on being the stereotypical little girl who loves dolls and tea parties has been completely erased and replaced with the traits of Mabel from Gravity Falls. And guess what? It's awesome and funny!
The foyer is the safe zone! The foyer is the safe... Ah!
This is no foyer. This is a tomb.
As for the rest, the animation is spectacular, capturing the spirit of the comics. David Tennant is a great Scrooge McDuck, and new mysterious elements like the nephew's mom and Magica brings out the excitement for you to see more Duck adventures. Which is why I'm happy that DuckTales is back, solving mysteries and rewriting history. Now before we get to the best anime reboot, here's an honorable mention. Samurai Jack Season 5. There's a lot of speculation that this can be considered a reboot since we haven't seen Samurai Jack in years, but before we can get to that, let's talk about the show. After Jenny Tartakovsky made the best decision to work with Adult Swim to bring back the samurai, it became far spectacular than you can ever imagine. We not only got the final chapter of the samurai's journey, but the action scenes got a big upgrade with new weapons and new enemies, especially with the 7 Daughters of Aku.
Leave here now and live, or stay and face your destiny.
Our destiny is your death.
Very well.
This would allow the animators to make some incredible visuals like the winter forest and even the use of blood. Jack himself even goes through a story arc where he has a mental breakdown of talking to himself, finding no way of returning home, and losing his magic sword. But with his wits and allies siding with him, he will put an end to Aku's tyranny. Now the reason why I didn't put this on the list, and believe me, I would love to put it on here, it's just that it's not a reboot to the original series. Despite Season 5 airing 13 years later after the original, it is still a continuation of the original series. If it's a retelling of the original with a different animation style, that would make it a reboot. But if you like to call Season 5 a reboot, that's cool. Just remember that Samurai Jack is back, and we will never forget him. And the #1 best animated reboot is... Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012. It is hard to believe that a cartoon based on a toy line, based on a comic, became #1 on this list. This show was considered one of the best anime series that Nickelodeon has ever aired. It managed to target both fans of the Ninja Turtles and newcomers like me to the franchise. Fans got a kick out of this for having so many references to the franchise, especially the 80s cartoon. In fact, they had a crossover with their 80s counterparts. Well, newcomers can watch the show and go through the whole story behind the Turtles, the Foot Clan, Splinter, Shredder, April, and the rest. The show does contain some dark elements, but it still manages to be funny. And the animation really shines on the action scenes and the designs of the mutants. There are some new elements that's different from the franchise, like April O'Neil. Now, in the show, she was the news reporter, but she is usually portrayed as the damsel in distress. Here, she's studying ninjutsu with Splinter and the Turtles, and it is revealed that she has psychic kinetic power she can use to ward off enemies. For the Ninja Turtles themselves, unlike the original where they're out in the public, here they hide in the shadows like real ninjas. But they still play their respectable parts, while having specific goals to achieve, such as controlling anger, impress a girl, use wits and brains, or becoming a true leader or sensei. So if you haven't seen any of the Ninja Turtle cartoons, this one is a great way to get into the franchise. I guarantee it because the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series is the #1 best animated reboot. Do you agree with my list? Are there any other good reboots that I missed? Well, leave them in the comments below and tell the whole world about them. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe me for a new review and other project. I'm Mad Hatter Patrick. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta protect my childhood from any upcoming bad reboots. Thank you for watching my video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe me to share your thoughts. And stay tuned every week for a new review and other project. See you soon.